a step up for the third. That's narrow here. Is 33. A step up in the cuspid, lower left cuspid. A step for an uprighting step for the second bicuspid on the right, and we are going to make an opposite torque of 7 degrees on the right lower lateral, and we make a different omega loop on the right side. How we have to make these arch wires? How we have to, what we have to do? We start with the first order. We make the first order as we do normally. So we check. We start making. It's just to repeat all the things. We start with the. Someone, I need one more. One different. I make first. First the offset. Ragazzi, please. I make two offsets, flatten, then check. The cuspid must touch 1 millimeter down. If I have a curve, I straighten. Remember that if you are using smaller arch wires, it's easier to make bands that you don't want to make. It's very easier to make arch wires with big arch wires, bigger sizes.
So which one is easier? I didn't understand.
No, easier with the bigger that you can.
Really?
Yeah, because it's easier
so
bending
easy
big
to-
wires.
Not so easy to make distortions, you know.
Yeah, because it's less easy making distortion. With small wires, it's very easy. It's very difficult bending the round wires. Okay, because I have this situation, I can close here. You saw before that I made the blank too big. So I started moving the blank. When you make a bigger blank, the best thing to do is changing the blank. Okay? If you make smaller, you can go inside again the turret. But if it's too big, you start in the wrong way, as we're doing now, because, okay.
I don't understand this thing.
Yeah, me
If
too.
it's too big, you can close
Too big.
the curve.
Why?
Because you can't give the right proportion.
Okay. But if the torret is the same, the hands are the same, how is possible?
No,
that
it's going to,
sometimes-
you make bigger. The way to make bigger or smaller is to cross, in a way, or less or more the legs. Because if you cross more the legs,
Bigger.
the turret is going to be bigger. If it's small, you don't cross enough. You can cross more until you're right.
But, excuse me, can I do this or it is just me?
No, it's very thing.
Okay.
Because
I notice that when I do, in this part is smaller. When I can I have? Can I help you? So when I do this and this, it came smaller. If I do this, it became bigger.
That's what he said.
yeah.
But is it right? Or
Yeah, it is.
when it is in, okay,
Ma
fine.
dire in italiano.
No, ma è
Oh,
grande.
now it's small.
No, it's
No,
big.
now it should be big or it's good. But I think you have to use the turret in different way.
Okay. Show me.
You have to make not many movements, but only one.
Cioè li fa incrociare. You have to
Thank you.
cross the legs, no?
No,
Just a little
because
bit.
it's
Just a
easy
little bit.
having
Just a
different,
bit, no?
because you had, you see, this part,
Asymmetrical.
this part is, you have, but what are you saying that if you stop before it's too small, if you go and cross it's too big. You have to cross in the right way.
But if I don't go on, it will remain open.
Yeah. So you have to
Maybe
cross.
smaller, but open.
Yeah.
So smaller in this part.
Okay, but that's the problem of the turret. When you need to have this form, because you are going to open, and in this moment, this arch wire has a problem because you made that. This arch wire will be good, okay? Because you open a little bit more and it's good. When you have a smaller part here and going out, it means that this arch wire is too small. The curvature is too small. So you have every time to cross the legs. The problem is how much you have to cross the legs to arrive in the right position. Mi prendi un altro pezzetto qualsiasi di un mezzo filo lì? C'è un tubo con i mezzi fili. Portamelo tutto.
Just for me, faccio ripetizioni private. Vado a ripetizioni di video.
Okay. When you have every kind of wire, now I'm crossing not enough. So I start and I make 1 and 2. Okay, the small I put here, and you have not to think that is big. That's really small
No, it's
because
small.
the curvature is small. So you have to go again into the turret and pass using your forefinger, cross the legs,
Ok?
okay?
90 quasi.
Going back, it depends on the turret because all the turrets are different, and go back again. Now I check, because you see I cross it right and left, not making movements, because if you make movements, you're making these little things on the last right. You have this one. Now you have to open the legs and check. Now the curvature is perfect. It's a little bit. Now the legs are a little bit closed. You open a little bit more the legs, and the shape is perfect.
Make a photocopy.
Okay? So the way is only to cross the legs in the right way. How is the right way? Depends on the turret. But if you don't cross enough, you're good. If you cross too much, now we cross too much, what's happening? What I'm saying you, because why I had problem with this
Non si recupera
arch
se uno
wires.
si allarga. Cioè si
Arch
recupera
wire.
difficilmente.
Because
Curvature.
if I carve more and I cross too much the legs, I pass here and crossing a lot, I'm going out and open. But opening the legs back, what's happened? I have a big curvature. And how I can match? You can do that because you have to straight. If you are no more wires in your office, all the wires are finishing,
It's the last
and the
one.
patient is there. Is the last.
Or if you are from Liguri.
That's right, that's right. In fact, this is my problem.
And it's Friday at 7 o'clock, and no one can give you more arch wires. You can do as I did with this arch wire, because I thought that it seems similar, a very new arch turret. So I increase a lot because with the new turrets you need to work more, but it's not a new turret and cross it more. So you can adapt. You see, you can stay like this, then you can open a little bit, but you're fighting with your arch wire before starting working. And that's not. If the last wire in the world, you can work with this.
È un rapporto che non può funzionare.
Okay. So you can now. It was very big, but now we can manage this arch wire. Okay. You understand that When it's small, you go in the, it was very small. We put in the turret again, and was perfect. This one was very big, and we worked a lot to have a not perfect shape. But you can work with this, okay? That's why I said this was big, and I made 4, 5 movements to adapt to the right position. This is the lower, so we prepare now the cuspid offset. So excuse me, the molar offset, and I mark for the second molar here. I finish in the first order with the offset here and the offset here. I'm checking I have to stay out of the line with the 2 offsets, seeing the triangle and matching the line with the position of the omega, okay? The white triangle out. At this moment, I'm making the omega loops. The right one, I need to make the right one with the right one not level, okay? So I need to have, sometimes happens out of treatment, you have a second molar in a bad position, but it's good with the upper. You don't want to absolutely move the second molar because you need to resolve some problem in the anterior. So sometimes you say, okay, the second molar is there, I want to leave it there. I need to make an omega loop in this way. So I make an omega loop in that way. So I make shorter. No problem with the tipping, because now we are treating an adult patient. I don't want to tip, I don't want to make anything there. So I make a shorter omega loop. In this way, in this case, I'll be passive there, because the molar has the tube in that position, or you put a small tube for the cuspid tube or something, and you adapt your arch wire to that. On the other side, I make a normal omega loop. Okay? Oh. And I made the first mistake because we're talking about that, and no, I made a mistake because it depends. I would like to say this before making the omega loop. In this arch wire, we have a step up. If we know that we are going to remove this step up during the treatment, because we are using...
Sì.
We should do omega further.
No, beh, se c'è una cosa che fa arrabbiare sono le cose che comprate in ferramenta
Ma questo è
e che
vecchissimo.
non lavorano. Compratevi in trucchesi di mount. Io ho ancora lo stesso compressione da 30 anni. Lo stesso.
Lo comprerò.
If you think that during the treatment you're going to remove the step up, because you made the step up because you want to put the wire in the cuspid, and then you want to level the cuspid, you have to make the omega loop a little bit forward, because the wire, if you're reducing the step, the wire is going to be longer. Okay?
Yeah.
That's clear.
Yes.
If you have vertical steps, when you reduce the steps, the wire becomes longer. So you have not to put the omega loop flush. You have to put the omega loop far from the tooth. If you're making an arch wire, because if you're making this, probably your arch wire is the final arch wire, and you're only making this because you have a reason, or to extrude a little bit, or it doesn't care, because the final arch wire is the final movement of the arch. But if it's the first arch wire, and you know that you're making a step And then the next appointment you're reducing the step, and the third appointment you are going to have flat the arch wire. The omega loop must stay mesial respect the omega. That's why I said I made a mistake, because I would like to say it before. And if you're doing this, if with the first wire you can do as we do, so in the position of the 33, we have the mark, the mark here, we put a mark after the cuspid. We are going to make now the band. Okay, I have to make this band up. How I'm doing? Remember what we do in July? I go mesial. I want to go up, so I go mesial up and distal down. Okay? Then I go back after the cuspid and I go down and up.
Alle rovescio.
Okay? I put the plier in the direction of the tooth that I want to move, and I want to go up, I go mesial up and distal down. After that, what we have to look at? We have to look through the arch wire. We have only one arch wire, only one line, and I have here the box of the cuspid. Because the easier thing to do is making the second movement have an inclination up or down, usually down. Okay, if you look at this arch wire now, you look, it's perfectly flat, and we have only the box of the cuspid. Okay? Where the right bicuspid is,
4, 5.
we mark where
Mesial.
mesial to the bicuspid. In this case, what we need to make a tipping, a distal tipping of this root. Remember the case that I showed you
Sì.
last time, or the case that I finished, and the bicuspid were finished in this way because there's a big restoration, and I made a mistake. I thought that the tooth was right, but the restoration was right, but the root not. So I make the X-ray before, and now I know that I have to move this root this way in mesial. If it's like this, the root is going in mesial. What I'm going to do?
No,
I put
distal.
No, distal.
the
No,
root.
but it's the lower. Okay.
The
lower.
lower.
Ah, it's lower.
That's
Yeah.
mandibular
Okay.
arch.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. So what I have to do? This is I start. I go forward, in front, and what I do? I go up,
Mesial up.
mesial up, and then I
Down.
put down. I have a little inclination here. But I can leave the arch wire here. I look through the arch wire and I see that it's going this way. So I go back here and I go up and down. Now I check again. I have to be sure that I have got only one line, and it's not really one line. No, yes, it's a one line, and I see two triangles, one over, one down the line, because the line is like this. I went up, I have the first triangle, and then go again, and I see the arch wire. On the second bicuspid, the root is making this movement. Okay? Okay, if you look at the arch, you can look, take from the distal, and you can look through and see that you have only one line, you have the box of the cuspid, and you have the two and the line is. That's really important to make this.
Good job.
Can I come in your office to have some?
Whenever you want.
In the beginning, I can come out just to learn.
Yeah, okay. Of course.
Just to
of
see,
course.
just to watch
But
around.
I think you have.
Then you can let me bend in some while.
No, let's start with some dental hygiene. And
Quindi questo è super però io l'ho capito in questo modo.
Allora dici va così. Ok.
Okay, and then
Invece
start
va
with
messo
torque.
iniziale.
And then torque.
Now we make the torque. Where are you going?
They are
Nice. And they are hungry.
clever.
Giovanni,
Busti
una
up.
cosa ora, per prima nella tua
C'è una girella
io
in
nella
più?
mia, forse perché non è
Questo è
vecchia,
hungry.
spesso io lo tengo stretto, è molto più rispetto alla torretta di Maria Chiara. Io non mi vengono mai pieghe, esce fuori per bene, con la mia torretta è rigidissima e mi viene sempre un po' di slivellamenti.
Dopo la
Di non
potrò.
Sassari.
Cos'è un break, ragazzi?
It's not a break.
No, ragazzi, è girella break, dai, siamo tutti qua a aspettare, non facciamo girella break.
Praticamente questo è quasi cosa una piega artistica, cioè la stessa cosa più o meno,
sì,
però lo fai
diciamo
soltanto da un lato.
Dai, ragazzi, su, che poi dovete farlo, non abbiamo...
Sì, perché sennò ti rimarrebbe
Quando abbiamo gruppi di persone, cerchiamo di rispettare tutto il...
Ma è diverso.
Se tu
The
disegni,
torque.
quindi questa è la radice, la vuoi
I give the anterior torque,
mesiale, quindi tu vai giù mesiale, su mesiale la porta di piede. Su distale, di su in base
verso dove vai.
verso dove va andando.
Sì.
Chi è di chi è questa? Fa fatica a fare le cose con
What's the
questa?
problem?
Tieni.
No, no, vabbè, dicevo per lei, no, no. Troppo sottile.
È troppo sottile quella lì, prof?
Sì. Cioè fai fatica col torque a darlo per bene.
Cioè come spessore dice?
Sì.
Ah, thanks.
Hai capito?
Era colpa della pinza.
Bastava dire.
Ok, qua, here we have the step up. How we're going to do the torque is the same. Okay? Don't worry. On the steps you can make the same. But talking,
Why you did
No,
it
not
so
really.
far from each other? The pliers.
yeah, in this moment was far because I had the step.
So you can do not close to each other this torque with these pliers. Can you show again?
No, I'm far because I have the step. So I don't want to do the torque on the step, but before and after the step. That's why we're far in this position. Normally, they are in the same way. One here,
Yeah.
and make the torque. Okay.
But you can hold here, here, and move here. If you want to do on the step torque.
Questo del torque qui.
No, I don't understand.
Where are you moving? You're holding before the step and moving on the step.
Faccelo rivedere anche.
Yes.
E te lo sta facendo vedere. Li tiene e li lavora.
And the other side of the torque.
Oh, the other side, we did it in the same way.
Stefania, you put the wrong
The
torque
same way.
right now.
E poi dall'altra parte?
They seems more far because this plier is too small. The posterior sector, you stay a little bit forward because you started here, and we make the torque.
Ti lascio un po'.
Now, we are not using any second order because it's not important in this moment, but we need one more thing. We have to change the torque in the lateral,
Mantieni le pinze.
the lower right
Come
lateral.
se fosse un torco normale. Aspetta.
Ragazzi, dopo ne parlate. lower right lateral, I have to change the torque only in the lower right lateral. I can do that with only one plier because the space is too small. Okay? So I have to go distal to the mark and mesial to the mark, and I have to make an opposite movement. I want to have a buccal crown torque in the lateral. So the plier distal, that is the plier that is working on this part distal to the mark, is going no more in the direction of the omega, but in the opposite direction. Okay? It's better to change the plier, yeah, because you have to be very tight with the wire. So you stay mesial, distal, and you go up. Okay? Now, you go distal here, and with the working plier, you again return in the direction that you should have. Now, you have to check the wire. The wire is flat. You can put the wire in on the slab because you have all the vertical steps, so you can put there. You have to look through and see again only one line, but we can check now the torque in the central. I'm okay. In the lateral, I have an opposite torque because the lateral now, if I go in the braces, are going this way, buccal. The other are going lingual. Okay? So you put the plier that is working is immediately distal to the mark and go in the opposite direction. That's clear? So normally in the lower we go down with the working plier. If you want to put an opposite torque, we go up. If you want to put an additional torque in lingual crown in this position, you have to go down more, but you go back and come up again because you know that the torque that we give in the centrals are going, in the mesial are going to distal. Okay? So in this arch wire we have 18 by 25 with the omega more down. Right? We have a cuspid, a step up for the cuspid. We have a step up for the root of the second bicuspid on the right, and we have an opposite torque in the lower lateral. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So this torque to the lateral is the same with the case?
With the case, I did because you saw the case and you can understand why. Is the same torque that we get to put inside the root, not to put out the crown, but to put inside the root. In these cases, if you do that, you put this torque to move in this way, you can make this and stop the crown movement, tying back the omega.
The omega with the 7,
Okay.
so you move just the root.
Just moving the root, okay? In the upper, this is it was a 19, the one that we bended before. Mark the center. Then we go here, lateral, cuspid, inset. Matteo,
Yes,
remember the inset.
very small.
Remember
The
the
small
album.
one, inset.
With 6 legs.
With this 6 legs.
Cos'è il six?
Insect.
Insect. perdonare Giovanni perché ero molto peccato.
Sì, ho provato 5 Ave Maria ieri, ma non sono
Non
bastato.
sono bastato, ho peggiorato la situazione.
Sedenti e ballate come ho detto io avresti fatto, ho supposto che avresti fatto. Ok, the carve on the anterior is like this. We prepare, as we did before, we prepare, no, maybe we make it the other way. We prepare the 2 steps before, okay? We don't prepare the
Angulation.
the angulation for the implants before, but we prepare the 2 steps. We put first the 2 steps. 14. Mark all the other things. So we are. Quel 14, non so. Okay, it's the same the word. We want to go up here, step up.
It's not 90 degrees. L'inferiore dov'è?
Ah, lo sapevo, vabbè, uguale. And we make a step down here. Step down, well, up. Up and down. And we decided to make the left one on the shorter. As I say, make it longer or short as you need in these particular conditions. Because it's hard treatment and you have to okay. The lower is, and the winner is, and the lower is. We are checking the. Because you see now, where I made the step up here, I made a too big.
Offset.
Offset.
I came too lingual with the distal part, and we have to check it.
Wire.
Bless you.
Jesus.
Okay. Now, it's better we make torque before these steps.
So second order always, or just steps?
Yeah, no, we make only these things because where the steps, we make the third order and then the preparation of the implant site there. Check up 7 degrees. I go here. Down. Down.
Well done. Oh. Top down.
I say I go up but down with the wire.
With the torque,
Okay.
yeah.
I say down down to the
Yeah,
wire.
I understand.
It's okay. That's okay. And so I have to change the torque on the 12. It's the lateral, upper right lateral. Here. Working plier here. Normally, in
We go up.
In this case,
What-
you do the normal thing.
yeah, we make is we would like to have -7. Okay, so
There you are. Major part of this. Major.
the right position is this. So I want, if I make this, I go up, what's happened on the,
Negative.
I'm going down. So I go up with the plier because in the upper I go up to make a lingual crown. In this case I want lingual crown in the anterior. So I go up with the working plier. It's okay?
Yeah.
Normally I have a buccal crown. Here I have a buccal crown. When I put the torque with the 2 pliers in the upper, I go up in the direction of the omega to have a lingual crown. So on the lateral, with the working plier, I go up. So I'm making a lingual crown. After the lateral, I'm going down until the wire return in the same position. After that, I have to check that on the caspid I have the right position. Okay? If I have to increase the buccal crown, what am I going to do here? In the other one. In the other one, I want to increase the buccal crown. I stay here with the working plier and I go down. If I check here, look at how big it is. And I go back again and I go up. Okay?
I didn't understand why you're moving your distal plier in the same.
I moved the distal plier because the torque.
Ma come no? Non ce l'hai subito così.
I thought you should.
No, no, che
So think, okay, we repeat. Okay, because every time you change the torque here, you're changing to all the wire. If you change the old wire, you don't want to change the old wire. You want to change only on this tooth.
Yeah.
That's why you go back and
I
put
thought,
again the same position as before.
I thought you should be inside the torque changing torque, but maybe not.
I'm sorry?
I thought you should work with your plier moving inside this
Yeah.
place where you want to
Yeah,
change it.
no, because you can do that with the only with the burr beak because it's too small the space. You need to use this plier.
Okay,
Giovanni,
understood.
allora, se noi qua abbiamo un buckle crown, ok? Dobbiamo cambiare questo in lingua crown e va giù. Il movimento da fare è quello di dare lingua crown nel superiore, on the upper, to simplify. On the upper, when you give in the upper arch wire with your omega up, when you give a lingua crown, how you do?
Quello penso su.
Take the working plier and go up.
Working plier, distal.
Up. In this case, it's the same. It's an upper arch wire. So how I make a lingual crown torque in the upper arch wire? I go up in the direction
Distal.
of the omega,
On
the distal.
Right, distal.
You have every time to think that it's the distal that is working, and the other one is only to hold. So every time you have to change, to increase, to make a lingual crown torque in every section of the upper arch wire that has the omega loop up, you have to go up with the plier.
This is clear. No,
Okay.
but because I didn't
Sono
see
selettivo
if
sul laterale.
Okay,
the
I'll show
position
you.
of the pliers is the
Okay.
same, is
The
normal.
position of the plier is normal, is distal to the mark and mesial to the mark.
Okay, so it's normal.
And if I want to make a lingua crown torque in this lateral, I go up. Then I pass after the lateral
Sembra distale.
remove the torque.
and I'm going down until I'm in the right, in zero. In this position, you're about zero. Then you go to the cuspid a little bit more back and check that you have as we want, the lingual crown torque, 7 degrees lingual crown of the cuspid. Okay?
Okay, it's clear now.
So
So-
you wanted 0 on this.
If you want 0 on the 25, we check what we have. We have a little torque lingual crown, so we use,
You have to flatten.
yeah, you have to arrive 0. Sì, chi è?
Certo.
Eh,
Vuoi rispondere?
Pizzeria Party.
Arturo.